Hi, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to As I've Seen It. So last night I went to bed with the news that the current French president, Francois Hollande, has decided not to run for re-election. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time in about 50 years that the French incumbent has not run again for president. And I understand why. Dude has a single digit approval rating. Really sad. And the left wing in France is kind of a mess right now. There are several people who want Hollande's job. None of them is really a front runner. And let's face it, at this point today, none of them could beat the scary, scary lady on the far, far right, Marine Le Pen. Much of French politics right now is based around who can or cannot beat Marine Le Pen. So last week, something surprising happened. In the runoff election to choose a conservative French candidate, people chose Francois Fillon. Yes, one Francois to another, because Francois Fillon is now the favored candidate to win this election. Talk about him in a minute. Let me get back to the current Francois. So Francois Hollande. I'm going to miss Francois Hollande because he gave us the two best non-political political scandals. Who would have thought, looking at him, the guy that everybody billed as Mr. Normal, Mr. Ordinary, who would have thought looking at him that he was a ladies' man? This dude, Francois Hollande, ladies' man. So everyone was calling him Mr. Normal because the guy who preceded him, Nicolas Sarkozy, was a bit of a hothead. Sarkozy was kind of fiery. And he was married to an ex-model, Carla Bruni, and Carla produced her own music, Carla recorded CDs and all of this kind of stuff. They were kind of a paparazzi favorite. So here comes Mr. Normal. For more than 30 years, Francois Hollande, Mr. Normal, had been the partner of Ségolène Royal. And Ms. Royal is also a politician on the left. In fact, she had run for president back in 2007. A month after she lost the election, Francois dumped her. Well, maybe she dumped him, but as far as I know, he dumped her. And who did he dump her for? He dumped her for Valerie Trierweiler. And Valerie was kind of a famous journalist. She was working for Paris Match, I believe, most of that time. So those two were together. And when he was elected president, she moved into the Élysée Palace. And there was all sorts of and gossip and all of this because they weren't married. Okay, so he had been with Ségolène for 30 years. They were not married. They had 4 children who are now adults. Okay, so he and Valerie move into the palace. All fine and well, except Valerie has a bit of a reputation. People start calling her the Rottweiler. There was a lot of kerfuffle about, okay, so this chick is now the first lady of France, but she's not married to the president, so does she get a budget? Does she get a staff? Do we have to actually listen to her? Etc., etc., etc. Throw into this mix these photos. The president of France gets busted coming out of his girlfriend's apartment. He gets busted coming out of the apartment of this lovely actress, Julie Gaillet. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. And of course, Paris gossip just blows up. Unlike in the US, there are strict privacy laws in France. And if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Gaillet sued the magazine and won. Just like when a French magazine got pictures of the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate, sunbathing with her husband, sunbathing topless, they went ahead and published those photos. Never mind that the photographer must have had one heck of a lens and was probably a quarter of a mile away to get those pictures. They sued, and I believe they also won, but damage is done. Photos are out. So here's a photo of the president of France in his trench coat, wearing his helmet, his little moto helmet, coming out of his girlfriend's apartment. Valerie lost her mind. I mean, Valerie fell out. literally fell out in the Elysee Palace, had to be hospitalized. There are rumors, of course, that there were, pills involved, and find out later that he dumped Valerie in some rather impersonal way, might have been in writing, we don't know. But big kaboom of a scandal, because this, of course, was right before Francois was supposed to go to the US for a state dinner, and the Americans went cuckoo covering this, going, what do we do? He doesn't have a partner coming with him. Oh my God, he's coming as a single dude to America. Ridiculous. Francois and Julie, to the best of my knowledge, are still together. They have weathered this storm. She never bothered to move into the Elysee Palace, as far as I know. And so, So that was scandal number one. That had nothing to do with politics. Scandal number two, Francois, in addition to being a ladies' man, apparently is a bit vain, because Francois Hollande has been paying his hairdresser approximately 10,000 euros a month to take care of his hair. The dude, the hairdresser, had to give up his shop because he was on call for Francois Hollande. If I'm not mistaken, dude was given an apartment in the Elysee Palace so he could work on Francois's hair. Not hair like this guy that we're used to seeing. Hair like this. 10,000 euros a month? I would demand my money back. I mean, seriously. It takes, I can understand why, Beyonce might travel with a hairstylist. I can understand why Michelle Obama, Rihanna, any of the other superstars we know might travel with a hairstylist. But Francois, come on now. So those were my two favorite non-political scandals from Mr. Normal. The guy who's favored to win the election now, Francois Fillon, he really is Mr. Normal. Been married to the same lady since forever, and they live in an incredible chateau. Still doing research on this guy. Don't know if this is the family home. It's got to be, but it's pretty awesome. But the thing we all have to keep in mind is that Francois Fillon is as conservative as Marine Le Pen. He's just establishment conservative. Dude won his seat in parliament when he was like 27 years old. He's been in politics his whole life. There is talk of him wanting to get rid of 500,000 civil servant positions. These are not the economic views of Marine Le Pen. They have the same views on social issues, but not economic issues. It's kind of scary because she could use that to beat him. So the scary lady that I've been talking about for months could win because Francois wants to destroy the social safety net. This is going to be interesting. Keep watching this spot.